Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the part 2 of the I Choose to Be Active Womandla in Fitness webinar brought to you by the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture. Please take note that we are about to start. Kindly mute yourself, switch on your videos, and feel free to ask and type your questions in the chat or tag us using hashtag WIFwebinar and hashtag I Choose to Be Active. Now please meet our facilitator, Obakeng Makapane, a seasoned runner since high school, the love of which was started by a desire to lose weight and be healthy. And now more recently, a certified fitness instructor. Congratulations, Obakeng. Looking forward to your facilitation of today's topic, My Body, My Business. Womandla in Fitness, OB.
Instagram, and we are live on Zoom. Thank you so much for joining us as we tackle another webinar brought to you by the I Choose to Be Active team, as well as the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture. We are going to start in a couple of minutes, so hang tight.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the part 2 of the I Choose to Be Active Womandla in Fitness webinar brought to you by the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture. Please take note that we are about to start. Kindly mute yourself, switch on your videos, and feel free to ask and type your questions in the chat or tag us using hashtag WIFwebinar and hashtag I Choose to Be Active. We will now remember all lives lost because of gender-based violence and femicide with a 30-second moment of silence. Then we will introduce our facilitator for the evening. Now let's have the 30-second moment of silence. Now please meet our facilitator, Obakeng Makapane, a seasoned runner since high school, the love of which was started by a desire to lose weight and be healthy. And now more recently, a certified fitness instructor. Congratulations, Obakeng. Looking forward to your facilitation of today's topic, My Body, My Business. Womandla in Fitness, OB.
Womandla in Fitness, Koketo. Thank you so much for having me this evening. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our second Womandla in Fitness webinar. Tonight, we will be tackling the topic, My Body, My Business. Now, many of you might not know what this means, but to us, it means more than just a simple line. There is so much power in those words. And tonight, you get to find out what exactly that is that I'm talking about. I have the privilege of tackling this important discussion with 5 Imbogotos, and without wasting any further time, I'll be introducing each of them. First up, representing the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, we have Queen Naniki Malesa, who is the head of marketing. Now, QNM, as we all call her, has decided to take on this I Choose to Be Active campaign and embody it into something that has touched so many lives, mine included. I've had the privilege of having her as my producer and unofficial mentor. QNM has shown her passion together with the team in putting together and ensuring that this program runs successfully. And what success means to her and the team is having more South Africans be actively involved in improving their lives. Womandla in Fitness, and welcome, Naniki.
Womandla in Fitness, Obi, thank you so much for the privilege.
Thank you. Our second panelist for today is Masibulele Mkundlu, also known to us as Fit Masi, the runner, who started her training way back in 2018. Tonight, she shares with us how she has been able to stand her ground in a male-dominated industry. Welcome, Fitmasi, Wamandla in Fitness.
Wamandla in Fitness. Thank you, Obakan, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. Our third panelist for this evening is Ryosta Mokuena, who is a qualified fitness instructor and who also runs her own business, which is a virtual workout studio. Now, Ryosta is going to share with us how she came to the decision of training just female clients after she's gone through her own challenges. Welcome, Ryosta, Wamandla in Fitness.
Wamandla in Fitness Ubakeng.
Our fourth panelist for this evening is Siposetu Maile, also known to us as Setu Bree. She started her fitness journey back in 2015 when she wanted to get rid of her cellulite. Fast track 6 years later, she has now fallen in love with the process and has committed herself to an active lifestyle. Now, this lifestyle comes with its own challenges, and Setu, who now has a partner called Cooper, her dog, will share with us how she's overcome these challenges and how she came to the decision of getting a dog as part of her journey. Wamandla in Fitness, Setu, welcome.
Wamandla in Fitness, Obageng, and thank you for having me.
Last but not least, with this phenomenal panelist, we have Zama Swazi Nkosi, also known to us as FitZama. She chose the fitness journey as a way of coping with a very stressful and difficult time in her life. She then used gym as a way to help her cope and get the body that she's always wanted. Now, joining gym is not the easiest thing when you're a woman and you might feel as though men are looking at you all the time. However, this queen shows her confidence even through her social media platform. We're going to hear about Zama's challenges and how she's been able to overcome these. Wamandla in Fitness, Zama, and welcome.
Wamandla in Fitness, Obakeng, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Now, everyone who is at home, welcome. And please don't forget to use the hashtag WIF webinar on our Instagram, on our Facebook, and on Twitter. Tell a friend to log in, because the discussion today is not only important for women in fitness, but for women in general. I will now start with our question. Don't forget that you can post your questions either on the Zoom Q&A or you can post them on our Twitter page. But for us to find them, you have to hashtag WIF webinar. And later on in the session, Boketo will be helping us facilitate those questions directed to our different panelists. We will turn our attention now back to Q&M. Now, 2021 Women's Month is the year of Charlotte Manyamatlake, realizing women's rights. How important is the topic of discussion today, and what do you aim to achieve from this session?
Thank you so much for that, Obakeng. Yes, as you've rightly highlighted, the theme of 2021 for Women's Month is the year of Charlotte Manyamatlake, realizing women's rights. And the focus area, as outlined in the communique of the month, is raising awareness to the National Strategic Plan against or on GBVF. And that particular focus area amplifies itself in talking to the following. It says, we wish for a South Africa that is free from gender-based violence directed at women, children, and the LGBTQIA+ persons. So when we sit in this room tonight, we then say to ourselves, how can we achieve the outcome of the discussions that will help us to realize that particular theme and in turn the focus area? And aptly coined is our call to action for the month, which really says we're looking to have conversations with change makers who are driving equality of women and girls. And tonight is truly about that. We will hear poignant, powerful, inspirational stories of how our panelists have had to deal with issues of GBVF, Obakeng, and in doing so, they will be able to empower men and women on the understanding of what is required to give access to what we call the realization of women's rights. And so doing that will show the rest of the country that women in fitness have got a voice, they want to tell the country what they are going through, and the country then needs to do something about it so that all of us can benefit from what we call the rights of human. Thank you.
Thank you so much, QM. And I'd like to also extend my thank you to the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture for allowing us to have such a powerful woman who has a powerful team behind her, who has allowed us to have this webinar tonight, not only this one, but the one that we had before. So now, as QM pointed out earlier, we will be speaking about the challenges that women have had to face when it comes to GBVF. The first question is directed to Zama. Now, Zama, we have seen you in the gym and you share with us your workouts. How have you ever had to avoid being in contact with men in the workout space or at a gym? Apologies, Zama, you might have been on mute.
Oh, I was on mute. Yes, Obi, yes, especially when I was new at the gym. I actually did.
And how did you deal with this?
Well, you know, it all started because some of the guys would always be just on my face, trying to have small talks with me and just disturb my training. I would be upfront with them and try to tell them that I actually do not like being disturbed when I'm training. Some would listen to me and respect my decision, but then some would be persistent. So on top of being upfront with them, I also decided to get headphones because you can't reply or even have a conversation with the person if you cannot hear them. So fortunately enough, none of them have tried to be violent with me or tried touching me inappropriately. The only thing that they could do was just badmouth me around the gym, telling people that I'm full of myself, only because I wouldn't talk to them. But bottom line is I could train in peace and I was happy. So yeah, headphones, ladies.
Now, Zama, this is very unfortunate. And I am guessing you're not the only person who's gone through this. I'm sure some of our audience will also agree that they have faced such a challenge. And I want to know, how did this then affect your workout schedule?
You know, I had to try to avoid the guys at the gym. So I would try not to be there when they are there. I would try to not train close to them. So if they would be at the weight section, I would be at the cardio section. But that was also messed up because it was just messing up with my whole training program. Because if I wanted to do weights that day, I couldn't because that particular guy was there. So it was just really a mess for me.
I can't imagine having to move around your therapy session just to be accommodating to other people around you. And I know that you've also mentioned that you use gym as a therapeutical session, you know, like a place that allows you to just be free and take your mind off other things. Now, sexual harassment that is experienced by women in the fitness industry is not something that is new. It's not something that we are able to talk about freely. But when you look at yourself, Fitmasi, what are some of the sexual harassment experiences that you think women go through when it comes to the fitness industry?
Umandla in fitness, again, thank you. I'll talk about myself and my experiences first. One thing that I had to deal with in the gym, because I'm in a male-dominated gym, it has to be flirting. This is one thing that men will always, or some men just do at the gym, whereby they try to flirt with you or they try to speak with you. And it's very disturbing because you'd find that you are trying to focus on your workout or you are trying to do something, and then there's a man who's coming to you asking for a number or asking for your attention. So it's one of the things that that triggers, or I would say that it's one of the things that is another form of harassment. Because number one, some men need to understand that not all of us are at the gym to be to date or to create whatever friendships. but some of us are at the gym to train, and we've got goals that we want to achieve by being there. So those are the things, or that is one thing that I have experienced. And I must say that, because it's me, I always try to just be firm and be straight with them and try to say, you know what, I'm not here for that. I'm here to fetch my body as well as for my mental health and just to exercise.
Now, I admire the fact that you're such a confident person and you're able to stand up for yourself, but not all women are able to do that. And they find themselves in uncomfortable situations where they might have to switch gyms or stop going to gym altogether. And it's very sad if we're going to be honest about it. What do you think? Why do you think these incidences are so common in our space?
Okay, you know, again, I always think to myself and be like, yes, I am Ufit Masi and I can stand up for myself. But what about the other women out there? This is the question that I always ask myself when I experience these incidents. On Friday, if it was not Saturday, I shared a tweet whereby I was asking women, have you guys ever experienced the harassment at the gym or while you are running outside? And I was so shocked and very disappointed in reading the responses from women, whereby people are saying that there's been catcalling and the whistles, the comments that some men make when they see women running on the road, be it they making comments about what they're wearing, the tights, or they making comments about yo, unempundu ezinkulu or unezinqa ezinkulu. So those are the things that I was reading about, as well as one thing that was very personal to me was people saying that, you know, Masi, I have stopped running in my area. Number one, because of men that are making comments. Number two, because of being scared. Because some of them, they experience whereby there's a car, maybe that it's following them, making all these funny comments. And it's very sad. Some of them said, you know what, I stopped going to gym because I'm getting harassed every day. There's a certain guy who's harassing me. So it was very sad to read those responses. As a person who's always like to people, please wake up, go and run, please go to the gym. So it's very sad to read those things. But what I picked up from the whole thing was that I think that some men have got this perception that, or they see us women as some kind of objects. Some of them, maybe they just don't have any respect, because obviously you can't just be making comments without considering the other person's feelings. How is this person going to feel after saying this? So all in all, or in my responses to some of the women that responded on my tweet, I was like, you know what? Sometimes even us ourselves as women, yes, some men can think that they have power over us. They can perceive us in their own way of belittling us and disrespecting us. But we need to also try and stand up for ourselves. We need to try and be firm and try to be like, you know what, Budi, please stop doing this. I don't like this. Next time, if you see me on this road, please don't act in this way. So that was more like my advice to some of the women that I spoke with. Thank you, Obakeng.
Fatmasi, that is a very heavy topic to speak on. And I'm glad that you went on social media and posted that question, because now we kind of understand where we stand as women. And it's always good to see another woman share their story, because then you feel empowered and encouraged as a woman to share your story. Now, we all speak from a perspective of being a client to a personal trainer. And sometimes we forget, because it's not so common, we forget that personal trainers who are females also go through their own sexual harassment by the virtue of having a male client in their presence. It's almost impossible to know when to set the boundaries, because you never really know when your client is coming on too much or they're just being friendly as they are. As I mentioned earlier, Ryosta has made the decision to have her fitness business just accommodating to female clients. Now, in our many empowering conversations, you highlighted that the experience in the fitness space is at times endorsed by women. So they end up adding fuel to the fire. And Ryosta, my question to you now is, as a female personal trainer, have you ever had an experience where a client made you uncomfortable?
Thank you, Bakem, for that question. Yes, I have. I've had so many incidents where young and old men came to me playing the role of being a client. In fact, all they wanted was Khonshela. I was training this guy who insisted to train with me every single day, even on Sunday. After every session, I'd get a WhatsApp late to see saying that he enjoyed the session and he cannot wait for tomorrow's session, which that was a red flag, but I didn't see it. Weeks after, he offered to buy me breakfast. I refused. I guess because I was so friendly to him, he thought that I was going to agree to it. Week 1 passed, week 2 passed, months passed. He continued offering me breakfast. He saw that breakfast didn't work, so he offered to pay my gym rent for the whole year. But I just couldn't take it. I could not take his offer. Mara, after that, I realized for them to convince me to take that money. I was shocked that women were also part of this. Thank you, Vaki.
I am a bit speechless after that. That is a very sad situation. And, you know, earlier on, Fitmasi spoke about how women, we stand together and we can fight against it. Now it becomes even sadder when you see women being the ones that are fueling the fire. And they don't sympathize or empathize with you, not knowing the danger they might be putting you into physically. And these clients, I guess we have to challenge gyms and other institutions to take a stand to say, listen, just because you're the clients doesn't mean you have the right to harass or cross boundaries when it comes to your trainer. Now, we're moving from a place where most of us are using social media as a tool, whether it is for business, whether it's to share our fitness journeys, or just to simply share your progress when it comes to your journey and how you've been able to switch up your body to get it to the way that you want it to be. Social media has been such a powerful tool, but unfortunately, we find ourselves in a situation where we are being harassed on social media as well. The person behind the phone doesn't know the effect that they have on you and the fear that they instill inside of you as a person who's trying to be powerful and positive. At Wamandla in Fitness, we call this social media sexual harassment, SMSH. Setu, have you ever experienced any social media harassment?
Hi, Badang. Thank you for that question. And yes, I have experienced some form of social media harassment. You know, men have the notion of thinking that women are actually posting their pictures on social media to get the attention of them, or even we're actually asking for these comments, for these sexual harassment comments, which is not the case. We are self-conscious as it is and knowing the world of social media, and men are just fueling and actually making us feel more uncomfortable, whereas some of us are actually just trying to encourage other women. We're just trying to say, you know what, look at the work that I've done with my body and look at the results that I've got. And you're excited about that. You want to share that with the world. And then somebody that just comes and totally changes the message that you were trying to send out there.
And that can be very scary for you as well, to think that you don't know how much the person on the other side knows about you, and you don't know how much they're willing to dig up, you know. How did you deal with it?
Initially, when I started out, I used to address this. You know, when somebody has some sexual negative comment that I don't want, I used to address that and used to just tell them, no, this is not appropriate. This is not what I posted this picture for. But that's what actually fueled some of the men. I feel like they felt seen once I did that. It kind of validated their comment, and they came for me much more because I gave them the attention that they wanted. So as time went by, I just stopped addressing the men that actually posted these comments, and I just started deleting the comments that I did not want under my pictures and the comments that just totally change the narrative of the picture that I posted. But there were some persistent men who actually, I would delete a comment now, and then the person would come back an hour later and comment the exact same thing. With those men, I obviously blocked some of them. But I noticed that even though I did not directly communicate with them, they still felt sin, the fact that I actually took action against something that they did. So I decided, you know what, let me just leave it. So at some point, I just left it and just ignored everything. And over the years, I've noticed that I'm not getting as many negative comments as I used to. And I think that's because I took away that validation that they were seeking so much.
Are you taking back your power, basically? Because now
taking back my power.
Exactly. I love it. I love it. I love it. Unfortunately, though, social media sexual harassment is not only experienced through comments. There are men out there who have enough power, as they claim, to lure in younger or women who are looking for exposure. They will come and promise you to expose you to a certain brand. I, for one, have experienced that, unfortunately, where a perpetrator was using my name to lure in other female fitness influencers. And how they then did it is send them DMs and ask them for revealing photos of themselves, not photos from their timeline where they comfortably can post publicly, but photos that showed a bit more, you know. And every time they'd send a photo, the perpetrator would ask, no, just move your bra a bit, turn this way a bit. And that is very uncomfortable and is quite scary, because you're hoping to get exposure, but then what then happens to you might be very dangerous, you know. After hearing our panelists and hearing how disheartening the space can be for women, I think it's very sad that something we want to turn into a healthy and positive thing has been turned into a very scary environment, from people being harassed at running clubs to people being harassed all the way to social media. I think we need to find solutions that can help all of us, not just the women sitting here in front of me today, but anyone else who is part of this industry, because we want to continue with the empowering message that fitness is a way of life, not a way that you might find yourself in danger. Koketso, do we have any questions from our audience?
Yes, indeed, Obakeng, we have a couple of questions. They're still loading here, but then that I can tell you is that the first question is asking Masi, what advice would she give to someone who's experiencing that kind of abuse in the gym, especially if they're running?
Okay, thank you, Kokezo. Someone experiencing the kind of abuse, especially if they are running. I'm not sure if I'm getting the question correctly, but in a sense of if you're a person who goes to gym, obviously for cardio purposes, if I understand the question, I would say that just to add on what I said, we as women, or that particular person, we need to understand you, or we need to have like be able to face the man and be like, you know what, the reason I'm here is to train, and I'm not interested in what you want to talk about. I'm not interested in giving out my numbers at the gym. So I must say that if that particular person is in running, can just try to be firm with the person. And then another thing is, in running, we get to have like your running clubs, where maybe you'll feel that you're not safe even in the running club, maybe by the comments that are made by the people that you are with. My advice there, I would say that leave that particular running club. I think some people still don't know this whole thing of the running clubs and how it works. It's not necessary, guys, that you need to be in that particular environment. For example, I am based in Durban, but I'm in a running club that is in Umtata. So it's more like if you feel unsafe even in that running club, you feel like you are being harassed somehow. It could be by comments, it could be by the one person or that one particular person who's making you feel uncomfortable, leave that running club. There's so many running clubs, guys. Each and every province has got a running club. So what you can just do, you can just check. I know maybe you're going to feel like you're going to be demotivated that you're no longer running with your club because it's not in your area. You can always find motivation, guys, in terms of trying your home workouts. If the home workouts don't work, try to find a gym partner around the area. Not everyone is in the running club, or not everyone has joined a running club as yet. So I think in that case, leave the running club if or you feel unsafe. Just leave and find another one. Thank you, Kogetso.
Thank you so much, Fitmasi. Facilitator, we have another question here on Zoom, and this one is directed to Ryosta. It says, what do I do if my personal trainer is flirting with me?
Thank you, Kogetso. Well, firstly, you need to communicate honestly. You need to stand your ground. I mean, many personal trainers may not realize that they are doing something wrong. If that's the case, speak up, my sister. You may help treat the situation. If you feel uncomfortable in addressing the situation with your trainer, and your trainer is provided by a specific gym, address the matter to the gym management, because sexual harassment can escalate very quickly. You also have an option of leaving that current personal trainer. You can go look for another personal trainer, or you can start working out at home, like Masi said, or work out also at the gym. That's what I would advise.
Thank you so much, Ryosta. Facilitator, there's another question here directly from the inbox saying there's a perception that wearing short tights and sports bras is too revealing and it's a form of seeking attention. Setu, what is your take with that?
Okay, thanks, Kogetso. First of all, people will always have something to say about you. Whether you post yourself wearing in a full dress, no skin revealing, they will always have something to say about you. If you are comfortable in your own skin and if you are comfortable in what you're wearing, I say wear it. You know you're not looking for attention and you know exactly what you're at the gym for. Focus on the work that you came to do at the gym, put on those headphones, be in the right headspace. At the end of the day, it is your body and it is your business.
Thank you, Setu.
One last question, facilitator. I'm sorry for stealing your time. Just one last question. This one is directed at Zama, asking, how do you deal with men drooling over you when you are working out?
Oh, just to add on what I said, I just put on my headphones. I don't even give them time. I don't even give them that attention. So they can drool. When they drool all they want, but they can't communicate with me. So, I'm not part of it. So if I have my headphones on, I'm in my own space, I'm in my own zone, and nobody can get inside it. So that's really how I deal with them.
That is all, facilitator. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Kogetso, and thank you to our audience for continuing with this very tough conversation. I think I would like to read one comment that was made in the Zoom chat. And the comment is from Tabiso Ramashala. Tabiso said, I honestly think we need more men to come here. All this. We are making life incredibly difficult for our sisters. And Tabiso, I couldn't agree with you more. As Wamandla in Fitness, we do believe in male allyship. We want men to come and help us. We're not saying that we are against men. We are against what men are able to do and how uncomfortable they make our space feel. But there are some men out there who are willing to stand with us and run with us and lead groups where women are the ones who are running on the road. And we really do appreciate that. We want more men to help us amplify our voices and amplify the message against sexual harassment. Now, Wamandla in Fitness is a platform not just to give voices to the women in the fitness industry to highlight their challenges, but also we want to cite solutions and help them improve, whether it's their business or their social media presence, or just improve their lives in general. Now let's turn our attention back to our panelists. So Fitmasi, there are myths in the fitness industry when it comes to women and how women in fitness are perceived. What are some of these myths?
One that I think I had to deal with, like Jay, ever since I started gym. It's this whole thing of love will find you everywhere. I'm just not up for it, guys. Like I'm absolutely not up for any love that finds me at the gym. Because number one, I'm not going there to look for love. I always say to people that when you go to the gym, it's very important that you have your goals and you understand why you're there. This is one thing that I always say. Hence, I always say to people, when you want to start gym, it's very important that you have a purpose. And you know why you want to start gym. So this is one of the things that I had to deal with, which is people saying that love will find you at the gym or love will find you wherever that you are. For me, it's not always the case, because number one, I feel like this myth, it has given some men or people or some guys at the gym the thing that they can just, I'm not sure again, but I think there's a sound that is a bit disturbing. Okay, are we good now? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm good. Okay, no problem. So this myth has given some of the other guys to think that they can just come to you at the gym and approach you. There is nothing as annoying, guys, as a person who's stopping you only because they want to ask for a number. I don't have a problem if you tap me on the shoulder and be like, Masi, can you borrow me that dumbbell? Or are you done with that dumbbell? That's the language I want to hear at the gym. Not a person who's be like, you know? So for me, I always say that that is not the place for those conversations of late. I mean, like, guys, we have email preps, you know? So those conversations are not what we are looking for at the gym, and we are not there to look for love. So another thing is the fact that I also say that if a person is really serious about you, then this person will find a way to find you in other places, but not disturb you during your working out. When I'm running there on the road, I'm not there to hear the car hoots of people that are interested following with the car. It's just not that, because the whole thing, it will make me to be distracted. It will make me to even lose focus, maybe on the exercise that I am doing on the gym. And then another thing is, I always say to people who ask me for advices, yo, Masi, I recently started gym, and then there's this guy, man, who's bothering me. Be straight with that guy. Face that guy and tell him. I like what Ryosta said, like, be bold. Try to be bold. I think if you guys, people that are listening, you've noticed something in the whole conversation is that we are preaching this thing of, let's try to stand up. Let's try to face this man. Let's try to face these perpetrators and be like, you know what? Dizojima apa and dizelang is jolo. If it's jolo siyakufumana, or if it's jolo sizokufumana, masikufumane phanga phandle and not disturb you at gym. I even say to people, if it means mtuke, you've been giving this person maybe over again warnings and be like, I'm not interested. And the guy keeps on coming. I give you the opportunity, mtuke. You reported the case, maybe nothing was done. I'm giving you the opportunity, ladies. Mtuke. Tuka that guy so that doesn't understand Ndobana, awukho interested, awunamdla to listen to whatever that is not related, or that is not fitness related, or it's about the gym, but he just want to your number or go out on a date and whatever. So that is one of the myths that I had to deal with. Love finding me everywhere. For me, definitely not at the gym. Thank you again.
And I mean, you've pointed out quite interesting points there. If you love me enough, you'll respect my personal space. And gym is my personal space, and it's my personal time. You know? So I don't want you to be disturbing me. You can disturb me outside where I'm in an environment where I am okay and opening myself to dating, not inside the
Yeah,
gym.
not there.
How can we dissect these problems and debunk them?
I would say more likely, because these things happen, and these things are not, I must say that they're not new, because even if maybe you're having a conversation with someone, you'd hear that, oh, maybe this thing has happened before. But I think most importantly, for us as women, like Ryosta has said and said too, we need to really try and stand up for ourselves. We need to try and be affirmative, even in our responses. And another thing is, I really wish that even the fitness industry, like your gyms or gang, like even the running clubs, they can just come together and have maybe like rules, have like gym rules whereby they're going to say that you are not allowed to do this. You get the point. You are not allowed to disturb people on their personal space, because I always feel like gym guys are supposed to be our happy place. Now imagine you having to move from gym to another. Imagine having to do cardio instead of weights, only because of people's behavior, only because of men and their some men and their mentality. So I really think, or I really wish that the fitness industry, as much as we're going to stand up for ourselves, but the fitness industry, it can also take charge and try to, if there's a case reported, try to follow up on that case, try to make an example, maybe with one guy, and say, you know what, we terminate your membership because we've had these 2 cases that are reported that you're harassing women. So my wish today is, yes, we as women, we need to also stand up, as well as can the fitness industries as well try to meet us halfway. Thank you, Abake.
Thank you, Fitmasi. And I remember an incident that was reported on the news where a Virgin Active guy was taking a video doing some uncomfortable things to another woman training. This trended, and it's unfortunate that this type of situation has to trend before gyms take action. We really need our gyms and our personal trainers, as well as people who are involved in the fitness industry on a professional level, to push this message forward. When it comes to sexual harassment as well, men tend to catcall, and the reason for catcalling, like you mentioned earlier, Fitmasi, is because they see us as objects. They see women as these objects that they can sexualize, and they can see whatever experience they want to have with them. So with that being said, Zama, how did you deal with body shaming?
I got body shamed a lot in the beginning of my journey, especially by men. And I've also realized that women that lift weight, like women that are lean and just like build muscles, they get body shamed a lot. You find people saying things like, you look manly, you've got no boobs, you're too masculine for a woman, slow it down a bit. At first, it really bothered me because I didn't really understand why would people be so mean when I'm just doing what I love, and I'm not hurting anyone and I'm not bothering anyone. Instead, I'm actually inspiring people. And I remember finding myself having to choose now between doing what I love and conforming to the bully standard of how a woman should look like. And I'm happy to say that I chose myself and really what makes me happy and what brings me peace, because for me, fitness is everything. I've gained a lot. I've actually gained more than a 6-pack. I've gained confidence, self-awareness, discipline, mental clarity, commitment, everything self-love. So it got to me with the Pella, it's not my problem that people don't like what they see. So I told myself that bullies will just have to deal with the fact that I'll never stop lifting weights. And I actually love what Setu said, taking back your power. That's what I did. I actually took back my power and I didn't care, and I continued to do what I love. So I just want to tell all the women out there that choose yourself, do what makes you happy, do what brings you peace. If you want to build muscles, build muscles. If you don't. If at the end of the day, it's not your problem what the person sees, it's their problem actually. So just focus on you. Thank you.
And I like that advice. Thank you so much, Zama. I like the advice that you gave to women. Focus on you and do what you love. If the next person doesn't like it, it is not your problem. As long as you're at peace and you feel good, you look good, and you're in good health, then we are more than happy. Now, running a fitness business is not easy. I can't imagine the amount of challenges that a woman has to go through when it comes to this male-dominated industry. Ryosta, what advice would you give to women who are interested in running their own fitness businesses but are worried about having male clients?
Thank you, Obake. Well, this is a tricky one, my sister, and can cost you if you choose which gender to train. Male clients come to you wanting assistance, and then after they show you what they really want from you. I mean, I made this decision years ago, and yes, it did cost me because my clientele actually dropped, and that was bad for business. So the decision that I made for training women, so I would say, know yourself. What do I mean by saying that? If you know that you can tell it like it is, stand your ground, like Marcy said, you can train male clients. As soon as they start flirting with you, you call them to order. Mara, if you are like me and you avoid such things and you avoid such behaviors, then rather stick to training women the way I do it. Yes.
And like when you look at it, when you came to the decision of you making the decision just to train women, I would like to understand, what should a person like myself who's never been a personal trainer look out for? And what should I keep in mind?
Well, first of all, the trainer is going to change change attention. He's going to give you more attention than what he was doing in the beginning. He's going to call you, check up on you. He's going to be consistent in giving you attention. Those are the red flags that you should be looking out for. And then he's also going to change your training program. So, we risa dilo tsa tshwana le bo di root bridges, where we sa meloko di meloko tlase, o tlo lebella in a certain way, o tlo batla go assista le go touch. Those are some of the red flags that you should be looking out for.
And those are scary because we don't know where the boundaries are, you know. We don't know when a person is getting the wrong signs. Some men actually claim, oh, no, but my trainer, as the female trainer, is the one that was making moves on me. The woman trainer just bowed down a bit lower than they should, and I saw things that I shouldn't be seeing, or they were dressed a certain way. I think there was a comment actually earlier on in the Zoom meeting that people judge you on how you're dressed for the gym, and you feel very uncomfortable, you know, because they'll tell you you're revealing too much. But it's like, am I supposed to sweat in tracksuits now? You know, and that is very, very unfortunate. Earlier on, Fitmasi touched on something very important and something very sad. People tend to stop their fitness lifestyle based on their safety. And safety is a big thing. If I feel like I'm not safe running outside, I'm going to stop running because I don't want to put my life in danger. For one, I run with the pepper spray. And the reason I got that was because there are days when I have to run by myself and there's no one to run with me. So the only way I can protect myself is by using a pepper spray. And I know there are other women out there who use different methods of safeguarding themselves. Setu, what is your experience when it comes to safety when training outdoors?
Okay. Again, so safety has always been a big concern for me, especially growing up in Kailicha. I never really felt safe, especially when it came to outdoor workout as well. So the only way I'd actually feel a bit comfortable when working out outdoors, it would be if it is a group setup, and in that group, there need to be males in there to actually come with the muscle to protect us. So now, I just stopped. When I moved away, I stopped doing outdoor exercises. I stopped doing outdoor workouts. The only outdoors I did, workouts I did was actually running. And I did those through the My Park runs because I know that those facilities are safe. So when COVID hit, I stopped running altogether because I was not feeling safe just running in my neighborhood by myself. And I was never much of a runner anyways. But in December last year, 2020, I actually got myself a dog. I didn't get it particularly for safety reasons, but when I actually took Cooper out for walks, I noticed something that I never like that didn't happen before. I think Fitmas actually touched on this. You know, we as women, whether we're at the gym or we're just walking out, men tend to come and hit on you, ask for your number. You know, it's things that we know we're actually going to experience whenever we leave our houses. But when I actually took Cooper out for walks, that didn't happen because people were afraid of my dog. And that actually just gave me the confidence to actually get back to running again, because I had Cooper there as my safety net. I felt a bit comfortable because people are afraid of dogs, and Cooper is a pit bull. So that's one of the dogs that most people fear the most.
That's very true. And even though we think that we are sort of safe by having these tools at our disposal, we're never really 100% safe. Because you never know what might happen, you know, whether it's to you or your dog or me and my pepper spray. But would you recommend that women safeguard themselves in a similar way when exercising outdoors?
If you are a person who already has a dog, or a dog person, a person who understands the responsibility of owning a dog, I would definitely recommend you actually take your dog as a safeguard. And it's actually a good exercise for the dog as well. Dog love walks and runs. But you have to understand that having a dog is not just a protection. You can't just go and say, I'm going to get a dog to just protect myself. It is so much responsibility. It's basically like a tiny human. And be ready to actually just say goodbye to your space, because if your dog is anything like mine, they will follow you everywhere you go.
That is such a lovely thing to have, you know, something that you didn't even notice would be a protective tool has now become your best friend in fitness. And just to go back to the story that I shared earlier on, I just want to cite my solutions of how we dealt with the social media sexual harassment case that we were faced with. So a group of women and myself came together into a live Instagram, and we shared our stories as to how this perpetrator was luring all of the people who were there in different ways. And it's so interesting because only one woman came forward to say, listen, guys, I need us to come and talk about this. And before she knew it, there were about 200 people on the live, and 20 of those women had stories to tell about the exact same person. When we went back to look at his social media profile, we couldn't find any information, yet he was asking women to meet up with him. We couldn't find his real surname. When we Googled him, we couldn't find where exactly he worked. So there is so much danger in the people we speak to on the other side of the line. And I think sometimes we don't realize how much power or how much information they may know about us. Because when a person asks you about your email address, that is linked to your IP address, which is linked probably to your home address, which is probably linked to your cell phone number. So just be very careful how you interact with these people on social media. And I say this with the heaviest hearts, that we have to face this one way or the other. We will win the battle. But however, we need to start having these conversations today so that our future can be a bit brighter and in a more female-friendly environment indoors and outdoors. Now, Q&M, earlier on, you asked all of us as part of the panel to put together our pledges as part of a social cohesion message of closing this conversation and this session. We will start with you, Zama. What do you pledge?
I pledge to challenge gyms to put up visible policies and procedures around harassment in their environment. You cannot expect a solution to come from the victim. Thank you.
That was powerful, and I hope the gyms are listening. Setu, what do you pledge?
I know people have actually heard that here we as women have actually spoke of the measures, the extreme measures that we have to go through to actually feel safe. But at the end of the day, men are the problem. They need to fix themselves. So I pledge to encourage everyone, both men and women, to call out the perpetrators because silence gives them power to actually repeat the same patterns. Thank you, Bakeng.
Some thoughts to chew on. And Ryosta, what do you pledge?
I pledge to challenge the workout space and institutions of sports education to help create a safe environment by taking action against those who have acted against this mandate.
Thank you, Ryosta. Last but not least, we have Fitmasi. What do you pledge?
We as women in fitness, we believe that there is power in allyship, and we just want to encourage men to help us in building a safe environment for women that are or women that want to stay active. I pledge to take affirmative action and support those who are victimized in the fitness space. I'm here to humble ondizocela amadoda ubana aphakame asebenzisane nathi. Ndicela amadoda aphakame asebenzisane nathi. Inkosi.
Inkosi Fitmasi. And men, you have heard what the women have to say. I hope today's conversation does not fall on deaf ears, but that you hear us and you take into consideration the thoughts that have been shared, the challenges that have been shared, and you stand with us against those who are perpetrators. Q&M, after hearing what the panelists have to say about their challenges in the fitness community, running clubs, institutions of high learning, of sports, how would you like to close up today's session?
Thank you, Bakeng. Firstly, let me thank you for the incredible manner within which you carried us all this evening. Thank you to all our panelists. Thank you for them willingly sharing their stories with us so vulnerably and really empowering the nation at large. From our end, Obakeng, the crime against women in South Africa are known to all of us, the stats thereof rather. We don't need to be iterating them again in this forum. What we do know, and we have heard tonight, is that there is a desire and a commitment by women of this country to want to find expression in enjoying and benefiting from physical activities and the recreation thereof, which is either indoors or outdoors. And when you think about that and reflect on what we heard tonight, there can be no question that the conversations of tonight are enabling the nation at large to understand what men and women have an obligation to do as well as not to do. So that what we all want at the end of the day, the realization of women's rights, which are human rights, to be enjoyed by everyone. One thing that we also cannot shy away from, and which I believe that we felt this evening, is that we are confident and hopeful that matters raised tonight will unlock the hearts and minds of perpetrators, of protectors of perpetrators, and also those who willingly ignore, disregard, disrespect the number of times that women open up and want to talk about what's happening in environments like the ones that our panelists are faced with. And that when we are able to have the opportunity for an environment that does not entertain perpetrators, that we as a country can find joy and expression in seeing more and more women being the voice to wanting to see South Africans becoming a physically active and healthy nation. Thank you so much for the privilege.
Ladies and gentlemen, and just like that, you have it. Our second webinar is coming to an end. It has been such a pleasure to be part of this month's discussions, this month's workout sessions, and everything that I Choose to Be Active stands for. I believe that today my panelists have delivered on the message, my body, my business. And I hope that you have now understood what it actually stands for, and you'll use it with the most amount of confidence. Thank you so much to our panelists for today. I really do appreciate the heartfelt stories that you guys have shared with us. But most importantly, thank you to the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture. Without you, we wouldn't have the privilege to be here today. From the very first webinar to the second one, I would say that this has been such a beautiful experience for all of us to be able to be given the platform to speak so loudly and voice out our problems, but also solutions. So please, ladies and gentlemen, do continue to follow I Choose to Be Active. Also, go to all the social media pages and click on the bio so you can join the community page. Now, you might be wondering what we have there. I'm not going to tell you. You'd have to click so that you can find out. Thank you so much to our technical producers. Thank you to Q&M. Thank you to the department. And thank you to the team in general. I know this has been a super experience for all of us, not just myself, but the panelists and the audience. And that's it for tonight. We will see you next time.
Gotta be healthy, be wealthy. What I dreamt of, I gotta get it. Control it, just own it. Yeah. 'Cause there's no sleeping. There's no sleeping. You gotta keep walking, exercising. You gotta work it out. I choose to be active. I choose to be active, attractive. I gotta keep moving. Oh, I choose to be active. I choose to be active, attractive. You gotta keep moving. Gotta be healthy.